Hello, and welcome back to another episode of More to Tell, brought to you by Tell Me More, a marketing agency that helps brands organically grow through stories people want to read, watch, and share. I'm Noelle, Director of Partnerships at Tell Me More, and I'm so excited about today's episode. Remember in our first episode when we mentioned Culture Hour? Well, you're about to experience it firsthand. This is something we already do internally at TMM, and we thought, why not bring you along for the ride? Here's how it works. Our team becomes your cultural interpreters. We break down what's trending online, explore the psychology behind why certain content goes viral, and discuss how brands can authentically show up in those fleeting moments. Now, fair warning, this episode is completely unscripted. Everyone on the team will share something that's caught their attention lately, and since we all have wildly different algorithms, you might discover something totally new. We're here to educate, entertain, and probably get a little goofy along the way. So buckle up, enjoy the banter, and let's dive into Culture Hour.
Hey, my name is Mo. I'm the Director of Operations at TMM. The beverage I'm sipping on, it's usually a Diet Coke, but I'm actually drinking coffee today.
Nice. What time is it over there in Puerto Rico?
It's about 1 o'clock.
A good pick-me-up.
Yeah.
Sophia, why don't you go?
I'm Sophia. I'm a designer at TMM, and I'm boring, so I usually just have water.
Good to hydrate. Paul?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm the Marketing Operations Analyst at TMM, and I'm really proud of my coworker Mo today because I'm drinking coffee, which I usually do every single day.
Nice. You coffee drinkers. Joel, Angelica?
Hey there, I'm Joel, and the CEO here, and I've got water that my wife and business partner just poured into my glass because I'm actually thirsty, and normally this time of day I would be drinking water, but I'm a very big coffee drinker before noon, so.
Love it.
I'm Angelica, I'm a co-founder.
We're sharing a mic today too, so. Because we still have to, we bought a bunch of other awesome mics, but we haven't set them up or tested them yet, so we're stuck doing it this way for now.
Okay, we're a little scrappy. It's okay.
Okay, I'm Angelica. I'm one of the co-founders, and I always drink sparkling water or flat water, but sparkling mostly.
I love that. And I'm Noelle. I already introduced myself, Director of Partnerships. I'm drinking coffee because it's around 9:15 a.m. over here in San Diego, California. So let's dive into everyone's trends. Who would like to go first?
Well, I can start. So this is a trend that I've been following for a while, and which is reaction videos. So it's, reaction videos have been around for a while, and a big chunk of the content that I watch is usually people reacting to other content. So what is a reaction video? Basically, you have there's different times. Usually, the most of the reaction videos are people reacting to movies or games. So you'll have your average Joe or one or two people reacting to a movie, and then there's other types of reaction content where you have, for instance, an expert in a field. Let's say it's like a military expert, and then he's reacting to some other content on the internet, which is maybe they're reacting to a scene from Saving Private Ryan, or you get someone who was at D-Day, right, a really old vet, and he's reacting to that movie content, or also live streamers that will react to news content. So it's fascinating, especially the movie reactions, because I know psychologically one of the things that draws us to watching, like, why would you watch rewatch a movie that you've already seen, but have watch someone reacting to it. I've discussed this a lot with friends, and I think there's nothing quite like watching a piece of content for the first time, but watching someone else react to it gives you kind of that feeling of watching something fresh, because you see it through their eyes. And I've noticed, especially when it comes to people reacting to other YouTube videos that I've already seen. So, for instance, there's this video about how big the universe is. That's 8 years old and 8 or 9 years old, and it's got millions of views. And I've seen this video probably at least 30 times, just over the years. But then every now and then I'll see a reactor watch this video again, and then they get wowed by all the scientific facts, and it takes me back to the first time I watched that video, and it's fresh. And so and that video garners more views, and it reaches a new audience. So yeah, I think this whole reaction content, and it's growing, right, with a lot of live streamers just reacting to old video content that's out there in movies is fascinating.
Sorry, I'm on mute. I get a lot of those reaction videos too, Mo, specifically vocal coaches commenting on singers like Ariana Grande and Wicked. And for the most part, it's positive feedback, but it's interesting to see that professionals take on another professional. And so I love that you brought that up. Does anyone else get that in their feeds and their algorithms?
Oh, I do quite a bit. Yeah, specifically with the movies. I've seen a bunch of ones where whether it's war vets or historians, they're commenting on how movies, such as Saving Private Ryan that Mo used, and they're going into the realism of it and just seeing their reaction and just saying what's real, what's not. No, it's a really engaging content.
Yeah.
I was going to say no, but then I realized actually, because I'm going to share on football, NFL football, which is my favorite sport. I actually watch these reaction videos to games. And so you'll see, somebody reacting to the big touchdown or the surprising moment in the video. And it's funny, especially when they're either a fan or they hate the team that did really well. They're either jumping for joy or cursing, the success of the enemy team. So yeah, that is an interesting one, Mo.
Well, Joel, would you like to talk about football then?
Yeah, that's a good segue, I guess, to just continue. So I watched this. So my team is the Denver Broncos. I grew up in Colorado, and they've been really bad for a really long time. But last year they started to turn the corner a bit, and this year they're surprisingly much better than anybody expected, even the most diehard Broncos fans like me. And but this creator, his name is gosh, I've got his name. His channel is Sports Talk Denver. His name is Ben, and the thing that I always love about Ben is no matter what the Broncos do, it's always the most amazing, best thing ever. And that's his hook on every one. So you always have, even if they lose or they do something, that you think is boneheaded or whatever, he always has the positive spin on it. So I pulled up some of his videos. I'll just read you some of the headlines, like the clip on just the first four here. On the clip says "Dream Team." And then the title is Denver Broncos just made a brilliant move. Then the very next video is the clip title is Not Done. And then it says Denver Broncos just get a massive wave of great news. And every one of these is like this. And it's always this way. And so when I come home from work, I really like to watch this guy because I can always, just check in on this, kind of a let go of reality and immerse myself in Denver Broncos land and see I'll sit on the couch with my little teddy bear, and I'll turn to my teddy bear and I'll say, do you think that the Broncos have any good news today, teddy bear? Or I'll turn to Angelique and I'll say, I wonder if there's any good news about the Broncos today, kind of as a laugh, because it's always the most amazing thing. The coach did the most brilliant move, general managers, the players.
Some great news. We've got amazing news today. We've got awesome news today.
You're never going to believe it. Yeah. So, but I think there's a great lesson there, because there's so much negativity in the news, right? Like we're just pounded. If most people turn on CNN and MSN and, Fox, and they're just pounded by how the whole world is just getting worse and worse, and nothing's ever going to get better. And I remember a long time ago learning from one of the masters of copywriting, a guy named Dan Kennedy, how he said, it's your job as a marketer to tell people about the good news in the world, because they don't get it from other places. And oftentimes, if you're the one who's always delivering some form of good news, always sees the glass half full, is always the optimist, you will be loved by a certain group of people. And so I think I think there's a lot to be learned from this. I would suggest anybody who wants to take their marketing to the next game, he's only got 30,000 subscribers, but he's really, really dialed in on this notion of just deliver good news over and over again, no matter what's actually happening in the real world, because people are magnetized by that. So,
well, let's hope the Broncos make it to the Super Bowl, so he actually has his good news is grounded in reality.
yeah, exactly.
Angelique, are you just as passionate about football?
No, not at all. No, not at all. But I do get foot scratches when he watches football, so I always want to know when's the next game, at what time. Am I going to get foot scratches?
She sits on the couch and puts her feet across my lap, and so I'm watching the game, and it's getting tense, and I'm really digging in there in the tense moments, and yeah.
I'll read or I'll listen to something or watch something on my phone while I get foot scratches for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So there's benefits to her.
That's the only thing I like about football is the foot scratches.
Okay, I'll pass the tip on to my husband. Well, since you're at the mic, Angelica, what's your trend?
So, I saw something in the actually mainstream media news yesterday about TikTok. And so I was wondering, because it is in the mainstream news, it was on Apple News, it was a headline, if it's actually already, if the trend's already done or not. But it talked about all these TikTok videos of African gray parrot. Has anybody, whoever spends time on TikTok, have you ever seen any? Okay.
No, I
I have
haven't.
no idea what they're talking about, but it was in the Rolling Stone publication. They talked about how the African gray parrot is as smart as a young child and is freakishly good at saying human speech. So it sounds like a human. So it's a really popular pet. And so there's this whole shadow market and a cartel of parrot cartel where wealthy people and influencers, I don't know, people all over the world want this African gray parrot as a pet. And apparently TikTok has hours and hours and hours of videos of these parrots just singing Who Let the Birds Out, or saying funny human things, or apparently people sharing videos of somebody's parrot helped solve a murder because it heard the last two words that this person said. So it's all this stuff, this whole article, and
Oh,
I'm
wow.
okay, I'm not on TikTok, but does anybody know? Has anybody noticed? This is actually in the mainstream news. So.
Well, I'm on TikTok now, and I just typed in African gray parrot, and this parrot's talking about going to the pub. and singing. This is so funny, but it's interesting that I haven't come across this. Um, wow.
So not in your guys'
Now you will. Now that you've seen one clip, you're gonna get recommendations.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway. It was more interesting to learn about the African gray parrot because I didn't know anything about it, but supposedly TikTok was blowing up with all these videos.
And when did you say that? What was that, last week or this week? Oh, yesterday. Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing. That's awesome. Sophia, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Well, Wicked came out pretty recently. I haven't seen it yet. Have any of you? The second Wicked movie?
I've seen it.
You've seen it? Okay, cool. Well, I've been seeing a lot of memes on TikTok with the songs in the background, specifically with the song No Good Deed. Have you seen that trend, Noelle? Where, like, basically the witch Elphaba is, like, trying to cast a spell, and she's singing in this, like, made-up language. So people are using that audio in the background of their TikToks when they're trying to do something and they're frustrated and they can't do it. So, like, I've seen, like, college students using it and people at work. And it's just, like, I guess, like, a funny way to, joke about whatever's frustrating you at the moment.
That's hilarious. Yeah, when she was doing that chanting in the movie, I kind of low-key cringed a little bit because it's really interesting language. I wish we had the sound bite to pull it up.
I know.
But okay, well, that's interesting, and yeah, that hasn't come across my feed yet, so I'll have to check it out. That's awesome.
Yeah, I guess I'm somehow on Wicked TikTok, even though I haven't seen the movie.
Everyone should go see it. It's not as...
But I'm excited to see it.
In my personal opinion, the first one is better, but the second one is also really amazing. So, yeah, go.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing too.
Mo, have you seen it? You're a theater lover, right?
It's on my to-do list to go see. I saw the first one and I liked it. So, yeah, it's going to be one of the Christmas movies I go watch.
Awesome. All right.
Okay, the funny part is this colonoscopy place in Puerto Rico called the Gastro Spa has the entire lobby set up in the Wicked theme, and they'd always have the Wicked movie playing in Spanish.
Oh, wow.
On the big TV screen in their lobby. I don't know why or what but like they literally have like everything around the lobby area decorated. And every time we've come, they've had the same Wicked, the original Wicked movie playing.
Well, it's not like we get colonoscopies like every week or anything, but yeah, we had to go back to the office a couple of times, and yes, they had Wicked playing. And anyway, but
every single time, and the whole place, the whole lobby is decorated with like the life size, cutouts and trees and flowers and like all Wicked stuff.
Maybe it's calming. I don't know. Is that calm? Is that a calming movie? Or
I don't know. Calming.
I don't know.
Right? Like maybe they just love it. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is how they get you into getting a colonoscopy. Hey, we're showing Wicked for free, so you have to come multiple times.
Well, I go to a theater.
The place is called the Gastro Spa.
Gastro Spa, yes. That's quite the way to market your colonoscopy service.
Yeah.
Hey, good marketing, right? I mean, it's working.
Well,
so.
the movie theater that I went to see Wicked, they had 2 different Wicked cocktails on the menu. They had a green one for Alphaba and a pink one for Glinda. So they were capitalizing on, branding and trying to get people in the mood before entering the theater. And then Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I was kind of doing my shopping, and everything's Wicked themed. Like, I went to Sephora and they're selling Wicked lipstick and blush and eyeshadow, and it's everywhere you turn. So I
What is it about the brand? Like, what are the elements of this that are so appealing? Is it? I mean, Wicked itself is kind of wicked, right? I mean, it's a cool kind of thing that I guess calls out a sort of naughtiness, a kind of like I'm edgy, right? But yeah, I don't follow the rules. I guess it has all those elements which people, especially in American culture, like to think of themselves that way, independent-minded. I'm going to do it my way, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Instead of being a good girl or a good boy. Yeah.
Well, I think the Wicked brand itself is very like, it's a fantasy land. People can kind of lose themselves in this dreamlike landscape when they're watching it, and you forget about the outside world. And the two celebrities they cast in it, Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, they've built a huge fan base, even prior to Wicked. So I think people are also bought into those two women who are really leading this movie. And I love both of them. They have incredible voices. But so I think it's a combination of things, and it's one of the biggest shows to have ever gone live on Broadway. So there's been this big anticipation for the movie. And I think the director really captured the magic that you see on stage when you watch Wicked. And he's been able to transfer that to the cinema, which is really amazing. So
it's like, yeah, even if you've never seen Broadway show or any sort of theater production, if you had to name a few theater productions off the top of your head, most people would probably name Les Mis and then
Hamilton.
And Hamilton, and maybe the Book of Mormon.
Maybe Phantom of the Opera,
Yeah, maybe Chicago. We could just go down the.
Well, yeah, and I guess in an era when so much is coming out of Hollywood is so bad, and people are complaining so much about the quality of movies and how they've gone downhill over the last 4 or 5 years, I think that rolled into it. It's like, well, this good stuff that does come out, people really rally behind. So.
Right. Well, speaking of Broadway, I think this is a good segue into my trend. So I don't have time to watch a lot of reality TV, but there is a show that's been on television for a while, Dancing with the Stars. And I feel like each year, the casting directors have to think more outside of the box on who to invite onto the show to compete. And so this season, they invited this girl, Whitney Levitt, from The Real Lives of Mormon Housewives, I believe is the show. Sophia, is that correct?
I think so. The Secret Lives, I think, something like that, of Mormon wives. I think that's what it is.
This girl, Whitney Levitt, blew up on the show, and so inevitably she went on Dancing with the Stars, and she was one of the semifinalists, I believe. But she's a really great dancer. I think she majored in dance, I believe, at some university in Utah. And she has all this charisma, but she's never performed in a theater production before. And so, anyways, the internet caught wind of her, and she announced a few days ago that she's starring in Chicago on Broadway. So she went from this Mormon Wives show to Dancing with the Stars to now Broadway. And so I was thinking, from just a branding perspective, how quickly and swiftly you have to move to capitalize on all of this attention she's getting, right? And it's just amazing how Broadway is now casting these like reality TV stars, which is, I think it's a shift we're seeing because they want to continue to fill the seats, right? So, yeah, I've been seeing Whitney Levitt all over my feed, and yes, I'm a self-proclaimed lesbian, so it makes sense. But yeah, Mo, have you seen this?
I haven't seen, no, I haven't heard of this, but it totally makes sense. I would say like because internet fame doesn't last that long, especially if you're totally unknown and you get viral on a TikTok. I've seen many people just build entire brands off like getting famous for 15 minutes from another influencer who highlighted them in a video or something. But actually, like as you were speaking, I was thinking about a conversation we had a while back about how the movie industry might change because of AI actors, and are we going to a world where like the traditional idea of a movie star may not exist because if you could become your own director with AI content. For each story that you tell, you could have a completely new character, and rather than having actors replay those roles in movies. And then consequently, you might see a bigger shift to people doing theater and Broadway because people who actually crave real human performances, then would we see a shift away from actors in traditional movies and more towards those actors doing Broadway shows? So that's it's an interesting trend that I've been thinking about. And then the other realization from this week was I spent a lot of the music I was listening to this week was AI generated music. And similarly, it's like, okay, if I'm kind of on this train and okay listening to AI music that I actually like, what happens to other artists? And maybe it's a similar thing, like real artists, either they go to this royalty model where they loan their voice to music, or we see an increase in live performances, and that's where they really shine.
Paul, do you have any thoughts on Mo's trend?
I'm not really sure. I mean, as of now, I don't listen to any AI generated music that I don't know about. I guess my big thing was like Mo, how'd you start out? Were you just curious about this and you just started analyzing it, or like just trying to see if it was any good, or like I'm just curious about your approach?
No, it was just recommendations from my Spotify discovery. Music that I saw on Instagram that I thought it was a real human being. Turns out it was AI generated, and I really liked it. And then started listening to that artist and others on Spotify. And at this point, and then I realized like, hey, a lot of the music that I listened to, anyway, with like electronic music, if it was made by AI or a human being, it doesn't really matter because I'm just listening to the ambiance or the beat. But some of the more recent music was actually music songs that were sung by an AI artist, and I didn't really think anything of it that was completely computer generated.
I haven't personally delved into AI music yet, but now I'm curious. Does it sound any different? I'm sure there's this level of perfection, right? Because real music sung by real humans, it's obviously a little bit more dynamic and not as polished per se, but could you pick up any differences there?
It's hard to tell. Honestly, it's very hard to tell. I am the song I was listening to, it was actually it was sung in Spanish, and I could not tell you that it was not sung by a human being.
Wow.
Well, sure, because the AI can mimic our imperfections too, right?
Yeah.
So it's it's designed to completely trick us into thinking that it's a real human behind it. But
And actually, that's what Ray Kurzweil works for Google Sciences, and he is a futurist and predicts. He predicted when like the human genome was going to get sequenced. Nobody believed them because they didn't think they were going to do it that fast, but then they did it even earlier than he predicted. So he talks about like the Turing test for AI, and his definition is that AI gets smart enough where it could dumb itself down to pass as a human.
Wow.
And to trick us into thinking that it's human. Because obviously we know that AI could be, perfect or better than human, but like if it gets smart enough to trick us into dumbing itself down so that we think we're actually talking to a human and not AI, is when it'll, pass the Turing test, which he was predicting, I think, last year, maybe a couple of years ago, that it would take another maybe 3 years.
But here's what's interesting, though, is juxtaposing what we're talking about now versus what Noelle was just describing about the real Mormon housewife and that backstory that led to the next thing that now leads to Broadway. Like, how is AI going to replicate that, right? Like, there is no AI that starts off as a housewife someplace in suburbia that happens to have this big break. And so, and it's interesting because like NFL football is very similar. I mean, Paul's a football fan as well. A lot of the times what's entertaining in the broadcast is the story behind the guy who lost his dad when he was 14 and struggled with, got raised by the grandma and, and then had the big break to go to the university. And like all of those stories are told in every single game. Like it's literally, it's so there's that deep human struggle and pain and suffering that is a part of what connects us to entertainment. And Ariana Grande has her own story, and these other actors and actresses, and so until we actually have robots who can struggle, I mean, will they ever struggle? Like, I don't know. So maybe we'll get there. There's obviously elements of AI that we're using now that's part of better storytelling, perhaps better movies. Better theater productions can be in the works because we have the power of being able to use these technologies in certain ways. But is there really a substitute for the human story that's behind things that really attracts us? Not yet.
Well, I love watching like competition shows, like The Voice, or America's Got Talent, or
same thing.
or
Stories.
And what I like the most about it, because these are not actors, right? These are like everyday people, and like they feature stories, like life stories of those who have like struggled, right, to get where they are. And I'm like always just crying and like watching their stories, and I'm crying, because it's that human connection, like that. What Joel just said, like the story of struggle and overcoming, and
All the rest, yeah. I'm hearing some distortion coming from somebody too, by the way, all of a sudden. I don't know.
Noelle.
There we go. Better.
Well, honestly, now that we're on this topic, and Joel, I mean, you were just like saying it about like the stories and all that, and then Angelica as well with about the voice and stuff like that and how we get into it. And I was just thinking, it's like really the imperfection of being human in general is really its own entertaining factor that, as of now, I don't think technology can replicate. Like I was thinking right now, okay, let's say if there was a robot who could play quarterback just at a perfect level, I can't imagine anything more boring. Because, I mean, where's the competition if he's just throwing strikes every single time? I mean, the appeal of sport in general is just gone. Same thing with competitions like The Voice. Like, if every AI was a great singer, I don't see the appeal anymore.
I think the impact will be not on reality TV, because all reality TV is actually about real human stories. Like that will always be popular because we're curious about other humans' lives, or sports. But I think the impact of AI will be around content where human beings were already pretending to be other human beings, because then it's not really that human being, it's the pretend character in that story. So think about animated movies. Do we think about who the voice actors were in that? No, like we're just listening to it's just a story that's being told in the animation. And if that voice actor was not a human being but an AI, the story would still exist. And then extrapolate that to movies where actors are pretending to be other people. Whether it's a real human actor or an AI actor, in that sense, you've separated already the human side of that actor from the story that's being told, and I think that's where we might see the impact.
Right, but you're still like, there's still that go. I mean, obviously in Wicked, they're playing other people, but part of the attraction of Wicked are the women and their real lives that became the characters in Wicked. And so I see what you're saying, obviously, Mo. I mean, yes, to a degree, but there's still this element of who are the people behind it. And even in animated movies, like, when The Rock is a character in a cartoon, it makes a difference. Like we know that that's The Rock talking. We know what his life is. We know where he came from. I mean, he played football. He did these other things, right? Like, so yeah, I think there's something to the actors and actresses that, and their actual real human lives that are an element of the entertainment piece in and of itself. I think you're right. There are obviously stories that will be really good stories that don't have any of that, and we'll connect with them anyway. But will we still crave these stories that are humans, that have stories behind the stories? I think we will.
Yeah. Well, like, I agree with Mo in the sense that, like, this TMM groove song that we shared, I mean, like, if you want to create your own song, right? Like,
piece of cake. Yeah.
I mean, it literally took, like, all we said was, Tell Me More marketing agency, Joel and Angelica are the owners. We have these 3 employees, Mo,
here's one thing about each employee.
Mo likes, Mo thinks AI is stupid. He plays tennis and he's the chief wit officer. Sophia hurt her knee and she eats snacks all the time. And Paul is the new guy and he loves to drink coffee. And that's all we said. And
instantly,
in less than 3 minutes, it generated that song. I mean, it was just incredible.
And we all laughed and we all had fun with it, and it was entertaining. Yes.
Yeah, and I just couldn't believe, I was so impressed. Like, I couldn't believe how, it just created the story of the song, how it organized it all and put it all together. And it's like a cool song. It's like a cool voice. It's a cool beat. And it's a funny, story, right? So, what would I have to do?
Right, and it's really personalized, which makes it great,
Yeah,
right?
so
Because it's like if somebody randomly in the world were to hear that song, they would have no idea what it's about. But because it's kind of this inside joke sort of stuff, insider information, it makes at least our group connect with it.
Yeah, so you can create this content in minutes, right? Seconds, minutes, whatever. And it's I don't care that it's AI. I mean, it sounds great. And I don't know, Noelle, if you listen to it, if you could tell that it was perfection. I don't know if it sounds perfect or not, but where you can tell it's AI.
Well, you could tell it's AI because, how did Angelica in 3 minutes come up with find a singer who is going to sing a song about our agency? But I think as for the actual audio, it was really, really good. Human-like.
Yeah, the thing that another trend, I guess, is, I mean, we're getting to a point, and we probably talked about this before, but we're getting to a point where it's like, you just don't know whatever you're seeing online, if it's real or
fake.
AI generated or like fake generated, you know? Like, not only do even like mainstream news channels may post something like a video from last year about this year's event that sometimes comes out like, oh, it's not real, it's not like real video from this event, this was like actually a video from last year at some other event, or AI generated stuff. Like, you just don't know what's like, it's hard to trust anything that you read or watch or hear online, because you just don't know. And I think it's only going to get, you know, worse from that perspective until like there's some kind of like verification where you can verify that this is like human or this is not fake of some sort. I don't know, but
Well, and honestly, going off of that, I might as well say the trend that I observed, and so this is just on TikTok. And I recently have gotten into this channel. So one of my interests, among other things like football and things like that, I'm a big geography nerd, and so there's this TikTok channel that's called Geo Mapping. Now, the whole channel is just basically it's basically just you just see a map of whatever the videos are talking about, whether it's a country, a region, just that, and it shows you just all these stats. While there's this narration, which I'm pretty sure it's AI, just this British guy who's just narrating what the issue is without that region or country, whatever it is. And I think, one of the big things, I mean, from this whole conversation we've been having is I even thought to myself when I first stumbled upon the channel that I knew that probably this is AI. I mean, I can't verify it, but it led me to kind of thinking, a lot of short form content like this where it's just narration and visuals and there's no need for a person. It makes me think a lot of this will just be AI generated. I mean, if there really is no need for a person, eventually, and it'll probably replace people too, but a lot of things that have no regard where you need to film a person and all that, and it's just like narration and just visuals. It just made me think about a lot of short form content like that just being really all AI or taken over by AI at that point.
I think it comes down to what people will tolerate. Like, there will be some types of content where people will be okay with it being completely AI generated, and others where you'll actually want to see a human being or human input. And I think one of the things that will happen is, like, as a creator, you have to be really, really good and cream of the crop to because the level of competition has now increased. So you have to be that much better to stand out in the marketplace. And I think that's going to be a big driving force.
wow, I loved geography when I was in school. I was really good at it too. We'll have to chat about geography.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think we're getting down to the last few minutes here. Is there any other trend you'd like to discuss?
Okay, so speaking of Black Friday, last week I was in Florida with my family, and my niece, who is 9 years old, she's going to be 10 next month. She was doing the whole 6-7 thing. And her dad was like, also knew what it was and was also like, 6-7. And I was like, oh, I now know. I've heard of this. I'm not that old. No. But it was just funny.
That's so funny you brought that up, Angelica, because when we were in Portland, Maine, we were kind of waiting to get breakfast. There was a wait outside, and there was this family with 2 little kids. And I turned around, and they're doing 6-7, 6-7, and I go, oh my gosh, that's them in the wild. Like they're still doing this 6-7 thing. And poked my husband. I'm like, oh my gosh, look, did you hear that? And it was just so intriguing to me. But it's definitely still circulating. It's still alive from my perspective. But so funny to see it in real time, in real life.
Yeah, we saw it in the wild too. I was like, Joel, did you hear that?
I think it goes from like the trendsetters. I think are like the true trendsetters. They're not doing it anymore. They're like rolling their eyes at it now, and that's probably like the 16 to 19-year-olds is my guess. And then it matriculates down to the 9 and 10-year-olds, and they're going to run with it for who knows how long. They don't care. They're just having fun with it. So they don't. They're when they're 8 and 9, they don't care so much about cool. But those trends are set by the people who really care about cool. And if you want to know what the next cool thing is, you really got to pay attention to people, 16 to 22 or so.
All right. Well, on that note, I think that wraps up our show. And if you got to the end of this episode, let us know what's a trend you'd like us to unpack next time. Send us a DM or leave us a comment. And don't forget to visit us at tommymore.co to learn more about our work in this podcast, including show notes, links, and other resources. And if you like this episode, we encourage you to subscribe so you never miss a conversation. Thanks for listening.